Today at Negative Supply, we're launching our newest product yet, our Riser MK3, which is a professional copy stand for scanning all film formats, from 110 cartridge film up to 8x10 inch large format. The Riser MK3 is replacing one of our longest standing products, the Riser MK2. And the Riser MK2 has been around for quite some time now, and countless users around the world have utilized the Riser MK2 for consumer and professional level film scanning. And through that time, and all this time, we've collected a great deal of feedback. It is out of that feedback that the Riser MK3 has been born. So let's review a few of the quick differences side by side. First and foremost, size is definitely a factor when you're considering the difference between these two copy stands. The Riser MK2 is a little over 23 inches tall, whereas the Riser MK3 comes in right at 30 inches tall. And what this is going to translate into practically is a big difference in the formats of film that you're able to scan. For example, the Riser MK3 can now support 4x5 inch large format film scanning with up to a 105mm equivalent full frame lens. It can even scan 8x10 inch large format film with up to a 50mm equivalent macro lens. Whereas the Riser MK2 could scan 4x5 with only up to a 70mm equivalent full frame macro lens. Additionally, the Riser MK3 can still scan all the way down to 110 cartridge film. In addition to the added height, there are a couple other size differences between these two stands. One of the big pieces of feedback we received over the last 2.5 years was that the Riser MK2 is solid, being that it's made out of solid metal, but it didn't work as well as it needed to with the heavier medium format systems and really large and robust full-frame DSLR cameras. We took that feedback and we made the Riser MK3 extrusions actually 50% larger. So not only is it taller, but the extrusions themselves are larger, wider, and have the ability to support more weight. Additionally, the Riser MK3 central column has a laser engraved system of markings, both in centimeters and inches, along with practical little window cutouts, where you can actually take notes of where you were scanning for, let's say, 35mm or 6x6, 6x9, 4x5, whatever it is. You can take notes and know exactly where to go back to with your specific camera and macro lens. The Riser MK2 is sleek, but it doesn't have any of those markings there, so not quite as useful in this regard. Adjusting the two risers is a little bit different as well. With the Riser MK2, you have to undo the lock knob on the back of the head, and then you can operate the threaded rod. And once you have it where you need it to be, you lock it back down. On the Riser MK3, there's just one knob, and there's no lock and unlock required. Simply go to the bottom of the central column and twist the rod as needed. This is even better for fine-tuned focus adjustment because without having that lock and unlock mechanism, it doesn't alter or buckle the head like it did sometimes with the Riser MK2. Another key difference between the Riser MK2 and the Riser MK3 is really in adjustability. For example, once you mount a camera onto the head of the Riser MK2, it really is what it is. Depending on the weight of your camera and the leverage weight with the lens you have mounted, it's only going to be as smooth or as coarse when you're going up and down as it is. There's no adjustability. However, on the Riser MK3, there is a degree of adjustability. On this front plate, on the front of the central column, there's going to be 4 bolts that you can loosen with the included T-handle tool. And once you loosen these, it allows you to adjust the tension based on your camera and lens, your specific film scanning configuration, to ensure smooth rise and fall throughout the range of the central column. Another big difference between the Riser MK2 and MK3 is how you mount your digital camera. On the Riser MK2, you line the camera up with the mounting point and you twist a little thumb screw in the head until it's nice and tight. And then often you have to twist the camera further to really tighten it down. And one of the things we noticed is that with heavier camera and lens combinations in particular, there could be a degree of tilt or sag from left to right, which as you're scanning a roll of film, can incrementally show a difference in consistency from frame to frame. Whereas with the Riser MK3, again, you use the included T-handle, and there's a slot on the side of the head that you actually can torque down the tightening of the camera to where there is absolutely no chance of the camera drifting from left to right. Because of this unique way of mounting your camera to the ProRiser Mark III, that means we can use larger system cameras, such as something like a Fuji GFX 50S or larger, ensuring that the camera won't drift from left to right. Once you've mounted your camera to the ProRiser Mark III with our included T-handle tool, there's actually a slot on the back of the central column for you to store the T-handle tool to make sure you don't lose it. Another major difference between the Riser Mark II and the Riser Mark III is that the ProRiser Mark III is a solid aluminum base plate, whereas the ProRiser Mark II had 2 aluminum extruded channels, which left an opening in the middle and worked really well for a variety of applications, but the ProRiser Mark II wouldn't work particularly well with any of our 8x10 formats. And because it just had an opening in the middle, it could be very difficult to keep your film scanning plane and your capture planes parallel. Now with the solid aluminum base on the ProRiser Mark III that's aligned with the central column and the supporting column, the bottom column part, it keeps the film plane and the scanning plane perfectly parallel. And because it's so large, you can use things like our 8x10 Light Source Pro on here without any overhang whatsoever. For scanning 8x10-inch large format film, you can use the ProRiser Mark III. You will, however, need to make sure you're using a slightly wider lens, such as a 50mm or 55mm macro lens, full frame equivalent, and you're still going to be at the very top of the central column. That said, if you wanted to use a slightly longer lens, say a 70, 90, 100, or 105mm macro full frame equivalent lens, you could do that. You're just going to need to scan the film in multiple pieces and stitch later, which will give you higher optical resolution anyways. Scanning 120 film with the ProRiser Mark III can be achieved with almost any camera and macro lens combination, including much longer macro lenses, such as 105, even 120mm lenses and beyond. 35mm scanning with the ProRiser Mark III can be done with lenses even as long as, say, the Nikkor 200mm micro. So truly, any focal length macro lens can be used to scan 35mm film. You can scan up to 4x5-inch film with the ProRiser Mark III using full frame equivalent lenses as long as 105mm. This is a huge step in the right direction over the ProRiser Mark II because I personally have always had 100 and 105mm lenses that I could scan with, but I'd have to stick to a 55 or a 70mm to scan my 4x5 in the past. So this really opens up a wider range of options for existing users of 4x5-inch film and for those who are looking into shooting large format in the future. In introducing the ProRiser Mark III, it's real easy for us to sit here and celebrate all the cool specifications and features of this new and exciting product. But I'd be remiss if I didn't take a moment to thank you, the users of Negative Supply products all across the globe, for continuing to support us. Because without that support, innovating and designing and manufacturing products and tools such as the ProRiser Mark III would quite literally be impossible. And additionally, I think there's a philosophical feature to celebrate with the introduction of the ProRiser Mark III, and it's that Negative Supply is in this thing for the long haul. We've continued to design, manufacture, innovate, and make all of our products, whether it's our basic or our pro lines, available for immediate fulfillment all across the world, even through a pandemic and various other ups and downs with the world and the economy and so forth. And that wouldn't be possible without your support, so we really do appreciate that. Our ProRiser Mark III is available for order now, both at Negative Supply directly and through our system of retail partners across the world. You can buy the ProRiser Mark III in a few different ways at launch. For one, you can buy the ProRiser Mark III a la carte, and we expect a lot of people who had the ProRiser Mark II, whether you bought that a la carte or in a curated or pro kit or what have you, we expect a lot of people to be interested in upgrading. Additionally, for new customers who are looking at the premium curated kit or our pro kit for film scanning, the ProRiser Mark III is going to be included in those kit options by default. It's also going to be an option in our 8x10 Pro Kit for scanning all formats from 35 through 8x10 film. If you have any questions about this product or any of our other products, or if the ProRiser Mark III makes you think, okay, now I'm ready to build my Negative Supply system, but I don't know what to get, we're here to help. So you can schedule a concierge call on the Negative Supply website where you can chat with me, Brennan, or another talented and excited person on our team who's going to be happy to answer your questions. But you can also use the live chat on our website, leave a comment here below in the video, or send us an email. We'd be thrilled to answer your questions, and we'd love to help you find a way to quickly revolutionize the way you scan all formats of film.